Thank you.
I call to order the 824th meeting of the Laurel's Historic District Commission. Qualifications of the members of the commission, the staff to the commission, and any consultants used are on file with the city and are hereby made a part of each and every application heard today. Guidelines and procedures adopted by the commission are also made a part of each and every application. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Brooke, good afternoon, good evening. Please call the roll.
Chairman Hayes.
Here.
Mr. Cocoon.
Here.
Councilmember Les.
Here.
Ms. Rambo. Ms. McSeany.
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki.
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. We have before us a copy of the minutes from the regular HDC meeting held on July 16, 2019. Any corrections or additions or other changes to these corrections to these minutes? Now would be the time for that.
Okay, so one item on page 2, HDC 094, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It says the certificate was approved on a unanimous vote. The tax credit was approved on a unanimous vote. There was no tax credit associated with that.
Typo.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Ms. McKean. Anything else for the good?
No.
We're going to make a motion that we approve the minutes as presented with the correction on the 094.
I'll second that.
Brooke, we have a motion by Mr. Cocoon to approve the minutes and a second by Ms. McSeany.
Mr. Cocoon.
Yes.
Ms. McSeany.
Yes.
Councilmember Les.
Yes.
Ms. Frazier.
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki.
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item number 3 is HDC 004 2020 for 35 4th Street, submitted by Jim Chun. Request to install an 11 by 40 asphalt driveway to the side of the property where there is currently an overgrown gravel driveway. Hi.
Oh,
Everybody.
Good evening.
Yes, we are requesting to install a driveway, 11 by 40, asphalt blacktop, because right now the gravel with overgrown grass looks pretty bad. And the curb is already cut previously,
mm-hmm.
so that's already there.
Will that require the removal of the trees on the side?
No.
Have you considered, one of the concerns that we have is we'd like to keep driveways as pervious as possible. In other words, that water can drain off and everything like that. And I can think of nothing more impervious than solid asphalt, which, I mean, I know there's some in your area, but nonetheless, it's not something we really are super interested in. Have you considered doing 2 strips of, say, concrete in there?
I think from talking to our contractor, they just suggested with the asphalt blacktop driveway, but they did talk about, we were talking to them about making sure the water can flow away. I think it's going to be at an angle or...
Right, but aesthetically, in addition to the pervious issue, a solid asphalt is not really one of the more complementary to historic houses. And I know the contractors always want to do the most expeditious thing. So while I appreciate that your contractor is interested in doing that, I would like to strongly urge you to do something that has a less environmental impact.
Okay. So, are there other options then? I know you mentioned one where it's the two, I guess, strip.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that?
There are also pavers and the Chesapeake Bay. What's the name of that?
I think it's through the Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
Foundation. The Chesapeake Bay Trust, I think is what it is. Let me look it up because I pulled it up because I'm looking. But anyway, they offer rebates and they have a list of contractors that have gone through their training to provide permeable pavements, whether it be a permeable concrete or blocks. But we're encouraging that. If you would be, interested in doing something like
The
that.
reason for it is basically so the water will go through into the soil
Sure.
rather than running down the street into the river.
Okay.
And asphalt is, because it's an oil petroleum based product. If you think about where you are. I mean, I know you're relatively close to the river and things, so that
Right.
it just seems to me the least desirable material to be using. I mean, way below concrete or way below, frankly, I think gravel, which we have a discussion here with, but something other than solid asphalt, certainly.
Okay. We are definitely open to look at other options.
Yeah, let me just mention, they have not perfected a composite. Looks like asphalt, but permeable. They're working on it someday. The concrete that they use doesn't do it either. So Ms. McSeen's looking up the credit, but there is credit you can get
Up to $4,000.
to offset part of the cost.
And don't let your contractor talk you. If your own contractor, I promise you, is going to say, "Oh, I can't do that. This is too hard. This is too difficult. This is too expensive. This is too whatever." I'm just telling you because contractors who aren't familiar with it are not going to want to even try to deal with it.
Sure.
Okay, I'm just telling you that right now.
Contact them and get a list.
But at the very least, either strips or something. See, when you have strips, for example,
Sure.
that means that there's a green space in the middle, and so
Where the water.
someplace where the water. Even if you have a strip with a pad, does that house have a back door? Is that going to be the main entrance? I forget in that house.
Yes, the front is the main entrance, but there's a side.
Where someone who is parking their car or something might.
It would be just on the parking. That's where they park.
Right. So if you just had the strips, it's a way for the car to get in there, and you can still shovel and do all of that stuff.
Right.
But I'd suggest looking into the tax stuff.
Sure.
So you're going back 40 feet, correct?
Yes.
So you might want it, doesn't have to be done tomorrow, does it?
No.
Okay.
So
So what I think you want to do is, if you go to the Chesapeake Bay Foundation,
cbtrust.org and
Okay.
search for their
and look at the credit and see if you can make it work.
yes, and it's by county, so you can just search for rain. Let me go back. But it's $12 per. The rebate, if you use permeable pavement, is $12 per square foot.
Like the paver.
Um,
More importantly, the pavers, people that know how to do that work will put in a base so that they don't heave. Okay?
It's the Prince George's County Rain Check Rebate Program.
okay.
So even if your contractor comes in, even if it comes in a little more expensive, because of the rebate, you'll actually do well. And I think you can call them and talk to them about your project. So,
Okay.
so how should we work? Mr. Chairman, how should we work with this stuff?
Mr. Chairman, let me make a suggestion.
Thank you.
Let's let the application just table this till the next meeting. That will allow her time to talk to Chesapeake Bay Foundation.
So once we decide, can we just submit it or
You're going to have to come
Well-
back.
present it?
I'm not so sure about that. If you're going to use pavers.
That's what I was wondering.
Well, but if she, if
I have a thought. How about if she sends something to staff and then they can email us and we can take a look, just like we do staff approval.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like
If
that
you're, if you're
idea.
going to use pavers, I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
well, but if she just since I would like to encourage, I don't want to give, I'm sorry, an approval to the asphalt at all.
Right.
No,
we won't do that.
But there, she should be able to present an alternative or two.
Yeah, the pavers. Again, we have a size, 11 by 40, correct?
Yeah.
That's firm. Okay. But what I'm suggesting, Karen, if she comes back and she's found her contractor, they're going to do the pavers, can we allow staff to approve that? If it's
Right.
pavers,
Right. But if it's something else, then
yeah,
you'll
then she has to come back.
Or ribbons.
or ribbon.
Yeah.
Well, let me just talk about ribbons for a minute.
A favorite topic of his.
The one that's done correctly is the one in the 400 block of Montgomery Street on the odd size, about halfway up. The one that just got done is incorrect because the green space is not large enough to absorb the water. A little thing like this. That one's about this wide. But again, if you're going to use the concrete, I'd like to see how your contractor is going to do that. And typically that'll be 2 strips up to the back pad. Okay, there'll be typically a pad at the end to allow the whole vehicle to park there. But again, if you're going to do the pavers, let's let staff approve that.
And then that way they'll email us and we'll get a look at it and we will either approve it or not. And then so there is the possibility that you wouldn't have to come in again.
And then
I'm sorry.
once that's done, they still have to go to planning and zoning, right? Or I'm not sure.
Not for pavers.
For a driveway?
Not for pavers.
No? Oh, good.
They don't need They don't need
Well-
a blacktop permit.
Okay, well,
Pavers, they need a permit.
You still need a driveway permit for that, yeah.
Okay, so yes.
Thank you for correcting me.
what was I going to say? Oh, my question would be, while we're talking pavers, if she gets an approval for a Chesapeake Bay acceptable material, shouldn't that be the criteria for us? As opposed
I think
to saying,
that would be pretty compelling.
well, I'm saying because I haven't read up today what their current
I think they have
materials are. If they say,
Yeah.
if you use,
compatible.
and I'll use the word concrete X because it's permeable, okay, and that's acceptable for the tax credit,
Right.
and that's the material she's going to use, then I think that would be acceptable to me.
Yeah.
So the way this could, if I may suggest, is the pavers. And if you are going with a material that is not pavers, which are obviously permeable, a letter or a note from the Chesapeake Bay that says if you use material X, that isn't acceptable, for what I would call a solid, then that could go through the same process. But if you go into just solid strips or something, then you need to come back to us. Okay.
All right. Let's say hypothetically, if it doesn't sound like from what you're telling me that we end up going that way, but if we do, because of whatever the contractor says, what are the criteria or what would cause it not approved or approved?
Talk about the strips.
Yeah. if
Yeah,
it
go
was-
look
is
at
it
go
the
at
size?
417
Probably. It's a white house with blue trim and a red door.
blue trim. You'll see it. And what they did was they used some pavers at the entrance off the street, and then it goes into strips back to the back of the house.
So that's an
That's a
example of a good one.
Yes, that's a good one, because they left enough green space to allow the water to roll off the concrete into the into the ground.
And pretty red flowers in the flower boxes.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
But if you put the pavers in, you'll have the prettiest driveway on the street.
That sounds great to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you very
If we were to send the email, who should I
Brooke.
send it if we end up? Where should I?
Oh.
Colin?
Quillen.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's you, that the email was from you. Okay.
Didn't want to do the permeable surfaces because I had talked to him about it, but maybe you could change his mind.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
So, Mr. Chairman, what,
So-
what do we do with this?
So we need a motion.
I made a motion to table.
Right. So that-
Second.
all right. So, Brooke, we have a motion by Councilman Lesh to table until we hear back from the submitter. And Karen, Ms. Lubinecki has seconded.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just have one question. This item will be on next month's agenda automatically, correct?
If
If it's
If
not,
need
if
be.
it's not,
If
if need
it's-
be, it'll be on the agenda either as an item or in staff approval.
Correct.
Because if they don't come back to you, we need to make a motion on it.
we bring it off the table, just close it
Right.
the way it works.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
Just want to make sure that that happens. if
Thank you.
They don't come back.
Thanks for that clarification.
Hemp Haven.
So we're waiting for the folks from Hemp Haven to get here. They closed at 7, so they'll be here shortly, hopefully. So let's go skip agenda item number 4 for right now and proceed with the tax credits. Agenda item number 5 is a tax credit request for 332 Montgomery Street, submitted by Marlene and James Frazier for approved HDC Certificate of Approval 034-2019 for replacing windows. The cost was $29,481 and the requested amount is $2,948.
Move for approval.
I'll second that.
Brooke, we have a motion by Councilman Les to approve and a second by Ms. McSaney.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier, sorry, Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is a tax credit request for 410 Main Street, number 1, submitted by Radcliffe Scarlett for approved HDC Certificate of Approval 066-2019 for replacing windows and door. The cost was $4,729.93, and the requested amount is $472.99.
I move we approve the tax request.
I'll second that.
Okay. Brooke, we have a motion to approve from Ms. McSaney, a second by Mr. Cocoon.
Me,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Agenda item number 7, the tax credit request for 417 Main Street, submitted by Hamide K. Kihani for approved HDC Certificate of Approval 076-2019 for restoring windows and entryway repair. The cost was $9,550, and the requested amount is $955.
I move we approve the tax credit request for 417 Main Street.
I'll second that again.
Brooke, we have a motion to approve by Ms. McSaney, a second by Mr. Cocoon.
Ms. McSaney,
Yes.
Mr. Cocoon,
Yes.
Councilmember Les,
Yes.
Ms. Frazier,
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki,
Yes.
Chairman Hayes,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. We have a list of 8 staff approvals, which we have all seen.
You were very busy
Yes.
last month.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'm going to introduce legislation after the election that will not allow any credit for people that start something without coming to the Historic District Commission. And part and parcel of that will be a letter that I'll write to the Real Estate Commission advising them that the real estate agents are not meeting their obligation to let the people know that are buying these residences. And I will also tell them that if that happens, we're going to advise them to go to the Real Estate Commission and ask to recoup the credit they should have gotten. We'll get
That's good.
we're going to get their attention this time.
And also, landlords. So Hemp Haven, they don't own that building,
Well,
do they? Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can find out. I'm
Yeah.
going to do it.
I've got to get the ordinance passed first.
Okay, no, that's
Yeah.
fine. I had planned when they're here to do a little probing, to find out and ask them about the process and what they remember about it. Because I know when we sold our house, that there was a box you had to check.
Yeah.
Said this is in the historic district, and there are certain covenants that apply.
I was told that real estate agents normally don't point that out to the person buying a house in the historic
Right,
district.
because it's considered a
So
negative.
again, there's a way to take care of that. It'll be in the pocketbook.
Well,
And they can recoup from the real estate commission. They file a claim with the real estate commission and say, hey, they didn't tell us about this. What they'll do is they'll add an initial to that box.
Mhm.
right.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, here's I think that's a great idea, Councilman Les. We were talking just a little earlier. The issue is also someone who's flipping the place just doesn't care. When they're flipping a property.
Yeah, you're right, Karen.
And I'm not sure, I think we've all had this level of frustration this time particularly. It's just been exceptional. Is putting in the sticks. We're all happy to give them the carrots, but what can we do for someone for whom the tax credit doesn't have any meaning? And I don't know if that's a fine or that's.
We're not going to get a fine. Mayor's adverse to fines. I will say that. However, we can tell the real estate commission we're aware of the flipping of houses going on and the fact that there is a disregard for those requirements, and that we will be advising the real estate commission because most of the people that are flipping houses have real estate licenses.
That's correct.
True.
So, there's going to be, I've got to speak to the attorney, speak to Larry about how to word the thing. But there'll be, first of all, pass the ordinance. Robert, what do you think of that? Well, my experience has been in dealing with the mayor. He doesn't like to do fines.
Right, but
We actually, I think they told you last week, we actually put 2 stop work orders on historic houses that were doing work without coming before us, and they were in our office within 15 minutes, both of
Okay, the
us.
stop work order is a better tool. Especially if you go slap the sticker with the red sticker, the orange sticker
We're
on it.
working with code enforcement on that.
That
Yeah.
scares contractors.
And so, very interestingly, a resident of Old Town Laurel, who is a roofer, was working on 206 5th Street.
really,
He said he didn't have any idea yet. Well, and his house is pictured.
Is right
Is
across from this one.
Is the example given for the driveway lady.
Oh, how perfect.
But I emailed Brooke, and then later that day I was home and I walked down the alley and I said, Gary, didn't you need to know? He says, did you call? I said, no, I didn't call.
They
I
don't
didn't
think-
tell
he
my
knew.
email.
He knows, and that I'm sorry, that just makes
Right.
Local
yes.
contractors should be well
You know,
advised.
right. They know.
So,
But
also
they want the
OSHA.
work. That's what
you
they
know.
want. They want the work.
But
Now,
My favorite, however, was this guy. I think it was 206. The the insurance company is going to cancel my insurance. It's like,
That
because
is-
I suddenly have
That
this
is not a
emergency.
joke. That happened to my son. They do it with drones now.
Well, but I'm just saying,
Yeah,
Marlene,
well-
they knew that they had a bad roof. Come on.
Let me just say this.
Well, yeah, but they
Let me
don't
say
do
this.
much.
I had to put
Jimmy's
the two
roof had
rails in
nail
our
pops.
front step.
And they
Because
said,
I was advised the insurance company had reviewed the house, and I had to have it done before they'd renew the insurance. Okay, so we put those two, well, I hate metal ones up, because the wood ones just don't last. So, again, we want to have something where we sort of tap them on the head and say, hey, play by the rules. Because for everybody playing by the rules, we got another one that is.
I know.
Another two
that's-
that aren't.
Right. Well, that's the sad part of it. And I remember Jimmy Boss said something to me when he did the historic district. He didn't want the historic district in Laurel to turn out to be like historic Annapolis.
Well, yeah, but historic Annapolis is gorgeous.
Yeah, but
There's a
but
reason
there
for
was-
that.
Yeah, and
Because
there's
they're
a lot of-
stringent.
and there's a lot of
They're
money
strict.
over it. A lot of money over
That's
it.
right. And the same thing with Frederick. That's the bonus that you get from these places.
But if
You know.
so we need to take a stick and
I mean, I like the stop work. I mean, just
Yes.
That's good to hear that that's working. And by the way, thank you, Brooke, for going through the past year and looking at these things. And
Yes.
so Brooke, I don't know if you all remember, but so we have more than 1/4 of our cases.
right, which says that
They
the
had already
problem,
started or completed the work.
right, and that's just unacceptable.
I
Yeah.
agree.
if you
I-
see something on a weekend, if you use the Laurel app, somebody looks at those on the weekend.
So
good
what
to
would
know.
And there's an inspector around on the weekend.
Oh, see,
Now,
I didn't
don't know
know
what they're
that.
doing, but they're around and they will go look at that right away.
Okay, so what do you?
Laurel apps. Everybody
I've got it.
Laurel app?
I've opened it up.
I do.
Just take a picture and send it.
to who?
To who?
I don't-
And under what category?
It goes,
Because I reported weeds, and the first response I got was, "This is not a police matter," because it was an abandoned house, and I
that
knew it
goes to
wasn't a
Dave-
police
that
matter.
goes to Dave Cope. Dave Cope handles weeds.
Zoning
But we-
violations,
But we are tying them to
code enforcement.
Yeah,
our fines, though. We
But
are
somebody's
we are
looking-
tying them with that.
but somebody's looking at those right away, if I remember correctly.
So should it be code enforcement? Is that
Well,
a,
code enforcement is who's going out and doing it for us.
Okay,
Who's they're
so-
the actual ones, but
a
we tie
new
it back to
service
our zoning
request.
fines if they
zoning and
no
code
point.
issues?
That's why
Okay.
we put the stop work order. That's why they're in so fast to do that. So
Yeah.
hopefully we're just looking for compliance is what we're trying to do.
Sure.
That's what we're
Absolutely.
looking for,
Yeah.
compliance with the rules.
Okay, where is this on the?
So if you open it up and then tap new service request,
Is that it?
the green banner,
Okay.
It works.
it does. And then the second one down is zoning and code issues. So, I know we've had a lot of people not following the rules, but the townhouse on Montgomery Street that faces the elementary school where
Yeah.
they read it, they were out there waiting for the engineer today. And I saw them this morning, and I was on the opposite side of the street and I couldn't stop. But about 20 minutes later, I was headed back in the other direction, and I stopped and I thanked him, because, he could have just left it,
Yeah.
How about the brick facade?
Yeah.
the brick facade. And, it was great, and I told him how much we appreciated that. And I think it would be nice if there was a way we could send a certificate of commendation or appreciation or something, just because,
For following the rules.
I mean, it took them like 3 days to take down the old wall.
We can think about that.
It was a lot of work.
Good idea.
I think our
Yes.
number
I'll keep everybody posted.
Number two.
Good evening.
number
Thank
2
you.
is here.
Thank
Why don't you step up to the podium, please?
Doug, I'll keep everybody apprised. of
Okay,
that.
great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That means we all have to vote for you.
Okay. Hang on just a second. I have to announce your case and just to be official about it, and then we'll take your comments. So this is agenda item number
At
4,
least one vote.
HDC 006-2020
He's voting for himself.
for 509B Main Street, submitted by James Preston and Dr. Nicole Ray.
I've got good response.
Request to install a 12 by 96 sign for Hemp Haven Wellness Center and paint window and door trim from dark blue to black. The work has already been
They
completed.
said no.
Okay, hi.
How you doing?
Are you Mr. Preston?
Yes.
Hi, nice to meet you. So tell us about the Hemp Haven sign.
The sign basically replaced the sign that was there originally, sneaker store.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the same dimensions, just changing ownership and signs.
Okay. And let me do a little bit of research with you.
Okay.
All right. So you're leasing this space, I presume.
Correct.
Okay. And so did the landlord tell you that you were in a historic district?
She told us, but I didn't know the rules.
That
Didn't
carried
explain
some-
anything.
Okay.
It's like you're in
Right. Well,
historic Laurel district.
good.
That was it.
That's actually very good to hear that she told you. Unfortunately, it means the onus is on you at this point. So obviously you found out that when the signs went up and they weren't approved, that you got a notice that you had to come before us and get it approved. Right.
So there's some signage on the windows and hours on the door and an emblem on the door. Is there going to be additional signage above the windows and door?
No, just
There's just that temporary banner now that.
Well, no, I think this isn't.
No, the real
aren't you
sign is
proposing
there.
Real
Hemp
sign is
Haven.
Oh, I don't have that.
You know what I'm talking about? Are you're proposing one that says Hemp Haven that's kind of black and white?
Right.
sign.
She's got something different.
Are you not? I mean, this is what you said.
Right.
Right. So there's an addition. Did you all not get this one?
Oh, I've got it. Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. We
What about this one?
place.
No.
No, this one.
This.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Where it
could,
says Hemp
let me just
Haven?
remind Mr. Cocoon that hours
Oh,
of
there it is.
operation don't count.
No, I know, but I was wondering about signage and we didn't
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
You want,
There
here,
you go.
you got it?
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry.
He's got it. He's got it.
I got it.
Is there another business in the red door?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was a hair salon, but the lady, she's moving back to Texas, so it's getting ready to be up. Well, it is for lease.
Oh, okay.
They just haven't put the lease sign. I was trying to help her find someone because I was in the hair business for almost 30 years. I sent her someone yesterday, but she said she had a prospect. So
Okay.
Yeah, we needed bigger signage. Her signage was totally. We approved it, but it was like it's unreadable.
Yes.
Her business, the young lady.
Lily Salon.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
If somebody does rent it, would you let them know that they have to come here for signage?
Before they
Where they put it up.
See, I didn't know. Most of my business has been in Montgomery County and DC. So once you assume the lease, I've never been in a historic district. Like you take off old, and then that's when I can't remember who I spoke. Just saw it today. Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Leah. Yeah, she the one that told.
Lena.
And she was like, sorry. I take full responsibility, but I just did not know.
Right.
Just for information, were you dealing with a real estate agent?
She had a broker.
Thank you.
Are you planning to illuminate your sign?
No, like LED.
No.
Or any lights
Any
at all.
lighting on it?
No, it's already a pre-existing light.
There is a
Right.
light. If you look
Right.
at this
It's on.
picture.
Right. I see
It
that.
comes on around. It's on now. It just comes on. Like I don't cut it on, cut it off. It's
No, okay.
tied into
Okay.
a timer. Like comes on. But we weren't installing any awnings or anything. We were just replacing what the original sign was.
Mhm.
But I mentioned to the fire marshal, I would like my neighbor that has a shoe store. His sign, his awning is it looked like it's about to come off. Like it's hanging with wires and
Talking about John, isn't it John, I think?
yeah, like, he just doesn't want to do anything. So what even the grass? So I landscaped the grass. We planted some flowers. Grass was about 3 feet high when we got. So we cut the grass down. We planted flowers. Made it nice.
He's a bit tough to talk to. I've
Yeah.
talked to him several times.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Well, he doesn't understand me sometimes.
Yeah, that's-
I think he understands me fine. But he's in there with somebody else now, I believe. Somebody's helping him.
his wife.
Is it his wife? Okay.
It's just
Well,
he and his wife. But I mean, it's an eyesore, but it's also
Yeah.
potentially. I mean, it's coming down.
Could be dangerous.
Yeah.
It's tied up with so
sure.
Okay.
Well, is that an
The
The
issue?
awning's about ready to come down.
Yeah,
So-
that
so is
doesn't
that-
look good.
Is that a code
enforcement?
enforcement? Is that a code enforcement issue? Maybe send
Okay.
somebody over to
I
take
think
a
we'll
look at
stick
the
somebody
awning?
on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just for the safety. Of
No, yeah, excellent. Thank you for letting us know.
Yes.
John can get a
Awning does
grant,
not look
partial
good.
grant for the awning, for a new awning, correct? We just
Yeah, I
need to
asked
tell him that.
I told him. I asked him. I said, "Would you want to go?" He told me, not doing nothing. It costs too much. I said, it's a grant.
Everything costs too much with John until he tells you what it costs to put those heels and soles on your shoes.
Right. I know exactly what
He's
you're
a nice guy. But geez, that's a tough business.
Mm,
It is. So as your business grows and you get other buildings, take over other buildings in the historic district, you'll know to come to us in the future
Yes.
for your signage.
Right. Yeah, I stopped everything once they told me. We have stuff sitting over at Signorama.
Yeah.
So anything exterior, if you want to change your paint, color, or whatever, any of that,
Right.
you just need to get it pre-approved. That's
And
all.
we have a grant program. If you move in the historic district, there is a grant program for facade. Correct, Robert?
Right. So if you want
There's
to
one
do
for
some-
facades and also a relocation grant.
Okay, if you decide you need to move into a bigger place.
or you want to do some upgrades on the facade.
Yeah, they'll help you out.
Right, so that would be, you could do an upgrade on the current facade if you wanted to and qualify for the grant. So if there's some additional work. And your landlord said okay, because I assume she would, it's a woman owns it, right?
Right.
I believe, sir, have you been in touch with Leah Steele then? She was the one that talked to you?
I actually saw it. I didn't even know. I saw it today. They came and invited us.
Okay, yeah, to the,
breakfast. I mean, luncheon.
Tampico.
Tampico. Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
food.
great food there.
Great food.
You know, we plan on stopping there. I'm not sure about the Saturday, September 29th, because just she and I work. Maybe one of us skate out.
That's good network. Those are all good networking opportunities.
but you can talk to Leah when you run into her. You can come into our office then and she'll sit down with you and let you know all about the grant program.
No, she did.
Oh, she did?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
excellent.
actually picked up the applications, but
Oh, super.
we said
Yeah,
we would.
good.
I wanted to get through this process before I did it.
Yeah, one step at a time.
That's the right way to go.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve HDC 006-2020 for 509B Main Street.
I second.
Okay. Brooke, we have a motion to approve from Ms. McSeany, a second from Ms. Lubinecki.
Ms. McSeany?
Yes.
Ms. Lubinecki?
Yes?
Mr. Clapoon?
Yes.
Councilmember Les?
Yes.
Ms. Frazier?
Yes.
Chairman Hayes?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great.
Good
Thank you
luck.
very much for coming
Thank
in.
you.
Good
Good
luck
luck
to
with
you.
business.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Maybe I can go get some.
So other than the other things we were discussing, any more new business to discuss?
I have a question for staff. Is there, people come here to take down a tree in the historic district? What if they don't live in the historic district? Is there any process they have to? That's a shame.
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question, Marlene.
I was wondering if people that do not live in the historic district have to have some sort of approval to remove
Oh,
large
so-
trees.
Oh, so you can just take it down at random.
We don't have a tree warden.
Why would that? You're saying if somebody's taking it down for somebody else?
No, no, no. She
No,
means like
just
if you live
outside the
someplace else.
historic district, does tree removal have to be approved by the city?
Outside the
Only if they're
Yes.
coming in for a site and landscape.
Okay.
If they're
So,
doing
which-
something on the property.
So your average homeowner is not
No,
doing that.
it's called bzzz.
All right.
Yes, I know.
If there's nothing else,
I move we adjourn.
I think Betsy's got a problem.
Thank you very much.
Stop over talking.
What?